So one of the hottest gaming related items on the market now is the NES Classic Edition. And this is a device that has the look of the original Nintendo Entertainment System that even came before our time,
Absolutely.
and has all the classic games: Mario, Metroid, Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Zelda, Kirby, all these great games on it. And even though emulation is available today and a lot of these games are available on the virtual console, it's still really nice to know that this piece of history is kind of making a comeback now with the technological upgrade.
Absolutely. And I think it's a good move for, I guess, it kind of like for little kids to be like, okay, well, why was mommy and daddy crazy about this
Yeah,
game?
yeah,
Now they have a chance to
yeah. Because
experience it.
that is the console that really put gaming back on the map after the
Absolutely.
video game crash. The console that really brought home gaming, back to the forefront. But unfortunately, there has been one problem with the launch and the sale of this item, and that is the fact that there have been shortages. People
Right.
have reported that they're wanting to buy, the NES Classic, but there's just not enough of them in stock. And this is not a problem that Nintendo has been a stranger to in the past. We've seen Wii and
Right.
Amiibos also experience shortages. So it seems like Nintendo, in a way, is trying to be. They try to be unorthodox. They try to differentiate themselves, and I think that's a good idea because they're not really going to compete with Microsoft or Sony anytime
Right.
soon. But at the same time, they really should look into analyzing market trends more and trying to base their production and their supply off perceived demand. And because they continue to fall short in that area, that makes me wonder, are they a bit hard up for money? Are they not supplying these things because, if they, for example, if the PlayStation 4 Pro or
Hmm.
the Xbox One S, if either one of those doesn't do great sales wise, it's not really going to destroy Microsoft or Sony. They
Right.
have enough presence in the market that they will bounce back. It
Absolutely.
makes me wonder, is Nintendo in that position of, if we put a lot of money into producing a ton of these and it bombs, is that going to put us in a position that we can't recover from?
I think so because I mean, granted, when the Wii first came out, I mean, they blew Sony and Microsoft out of the
Yeah,
water. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, the Wii was one of the hottest things like to release in this decade.
yeah,
But I think since that's been long past, they released the Wii U, and let's just be honest, it did not perform well.
right.
And so, with that being the case, I think that's the reason why that they are kind of taking it, with caution,
Yeah,
like with this system and everything else that they plan on doing, because I think they are hard up for money.
yeah. And hopefully they do realize that, okay, this is a product that is catching on, and especially with the holidays approaching, if Nintendo is looking for a way to kind of revitalize themselves, get some more cash and basically put themselves in a position to say, okay, now we do have the funding, we do have the presence in the market again to try something new, we have people's attention back. I just think that the NES Classic is a great way to do that.
Absolutely, and I think it's good to bring the class back, but let's just be honest with Sony and Microsoft. Nintendo has to find a way to get back to just focusing on giving the fans what they want.
Great games.
Great games. I know that they've kind of transitioned into the family oriented
Right,
company, but that's not working.
right.
It's
It
not.
can only take them so far. And the thing that really made the NES great was, yes, it was a great piece of hardware at the time, but they had the best games at the time too. And it wasn't like when you had a saturated market where it was like so many different consoles with games that were similar. These were really polished games at the time, and they had really
Absolutely.
recognizable characters that are still popular to this day. So it just goes to show that Nintendo has in the past, like we said, with the NES and even with the Wii, really
Absolutely.
made a huge impact on the market. So hopefully with the success of this, they can kind of bounce back and really establish themselves as a solid name in the console market once again.
And I think they could.